Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video will be seen and shared. Celine Driver once again, coming to you with an unboxing and review of a watch that is mine and has a real nice story behind it. As you know, I am a big Zelos fan. One of the biggest, some people will argue. I will leave that to others to judge. I have amassed a pretty good sized Zelos collection, and I have even managed to amass in some of the lineups of Zelos, particularly the ZX line and recently the Eagle line, and soon to be the Starfighter line. And one example of every watch that was produced by Zelos. Now, in the case of the ZX, that was not easy to do. It's not going to be easy to do with the Starfighter, and was definitely not easy to do with the Eagle. So, it does take some effort. Recently, I decided while I was hunting and just before I found my Eagle E1B, I decided that since I already owned one watch of this lineup, the DMT, the Diver MedTech lineup, I wanted to get a hold of the other one. Now, there are only 150 of each made, so that was going to be a little bit difficult, but I announced my intention to do that on the Zelos Timekeepers group on Facebook. And it was brought to my attention by a good friend, Joshua, he of the Horology Insanity channel, that there was a guy on eBay UK, that had one of these, the no-date version, for sale. I attempted to contact the guy, but for some reason at that particular time, his account was not receiving messages from outside the UK or something. Also, the listing said that he would not ship to the United States. I don't know why. I mean, our postal service is shit, but it's not as bad as, say, Italy or Russia or Brazil, for God's sake. But he wouldn't sell to the U.S. Now, Joshua, being a good fellow Zelos enthusiast, did manage to contact one of his friends, a nice guy that I've dealt with before briefly named Will Duncan, who lives in the UK. He contacted Will. Will contacted the seller and found out the things I needed to find out about this watch. Specifically, was it full kit? What was its condition? Etc., etc. And it was all beautiful, but the guy was adamant he would not sell to the UK. Now, Will is in the UK, but he had gotten off of eBay years ago. He killed his account off. He wasn't on eBay anymore. So when I floated the idea that Will buy the watch and then I'll pay Will back and pay him for shipping to the US, he said he was off eBay, and I didn't think any more about it. Next thing I know, Will is messaging me on Facebook saying, I bought the watch. Here's the price. Can you pay me back? Well, you can pay me back now. And I said, what? I said, you said you were off eBay. I said, yeah. He said, I got back on eBay to do this for you. So, big shout out to Will Duncan. He is the editor of Zaltech Reviews and ZaltechReviews.com. And there's his information. He gave it to me in a business card. He's also on YouTube. So if you're a subscriber of mine or a viewer of mine, go find Zaltech Reviews on YouTube and sub him up. Big, major shout out to Will Duncan. he came through. He didn't have to do this. He didn't have to spend his own money and buy the watch and then ship it. I paid him back every cent. But he didn't have to do that. He doesn't know me from Adam. But big shout out to Josh over at Horology Insanity. I'll leave links to both their YouTube channels in the description. But big shout out to Will and big shout out to Joshua for helping me make this happen. You know, I could have waited. But they made this happen, and I actually got this watch just a few days after I got my long-sought Eagle E1B. So now I've completed both the Eagle line and the DMT line and the ZX line. So Starfighter, you're next up. But looking at the old school pine box. Nice to see this again. And the old school watch roll and the old school specification card, which Zelos doesn't do anymore. It's a pity. I think that was a great feature. But inside the old canvas style watch roll, we have, of course, we have the card. This is a slightly different Zelos card because it has that that logo engraved into it, like that. Because this watch was done in partnership with someone else, and you can see this is number 138 out of 150. They did 2 flights of each watch. They did serial number 1 to 100, and then 101 to 150 in a separate run. And you can say this watch was bought in September of 2017. So this watch is about 4.5, 5 years old, somewhere in there. Tropical rubber strap, the old school rubber strap, which I chose not to leave the watch on. And I realize we're 7 minutes in and you haven't seen the watch yet. I apologize for that. But I think the story was worth telling because, you know, 2 people went out of their way to make this happen for me, and I really appreciate it. And now we have here in front of us the no-date version of the DMT. You can see it's a clean dial. This is almost a 5-year-old watch, and this thing is in fantastic shape. And shout out to the previous owner in the UK. This guy, whose name is on this card here. It's on the back. It's handwritten. I'm not going to show it because I don't have his permission, but shout out to you, sir. You kept this watch beautifully. I've paired this watch up with a silver version of this Ichi, E-A-C-H-E, Ichi mesh bracelet that I've been buying off of Amazon for a while now. I think it looks great. It also helps me differentiate from the other DMT, which is on a black version of this one. I'm going to show that in a little bit. Beautiful old school Zelos diver. This predates almost all the other Zelos divers. It predates the Hammerhead. It predates the Swordfish, the Mako, the Great White, the Abyss. I think this is one of the first ones, if my Zelos history is correct. Nice bezel action, very smooth, locks in very nicely, although I've clicked it once now that my OCD will kick in. So bring it around again. And you can see once it locks in, it locks. Screw down crown, it's signed. You have the Diver Med Technician logo. DW 2017 has some other information on there. And it runs beautifully. It's keeping great time. Screw down crown. It disengages very quickly. 2 pops out. It hacks the movement. It does have a ghost date setting position. Obviously, it's not functioning in this watch. Push it in. Watch starts up again. Screw the crown back in. Come on. A little effort to engage the threads. There we go. And there you go. She's running nicely. I love, one thing I've always liked about the DMT watches is the coloring. And obviously it's a polished and satin finished case and black bezel, the white indices and the white, the first 25 minutes are highlighted in white. That's kind of unusual for a dive watch. It's usually 15 minutes or sometimes 20 minutes, but this one goes a full 25. I like the minute hand is orange, so it's easy to pick up. The second hand and the inner track are blue. And you can see the inner track is graduated for pulse or for taking a pulse because this is a med technician watch. So it's a pulse meter, as you can see there. Just a beautiful watch. Have my sheet of facts here. This is the as I said, this is the no date version of the Zelos DMT Diver Med Tech. 316L stainless steel all around. Yes, the bracelet, the aftermarket bracelet is steel as well, stainless steel as well. The stock rubber strap, which I'm not a big fan of, so I took it off. But it's a nice one as far as that goes. It's a Tropic rubber strap. It's not for me, so I took it off, put on the Ichi mesh strap. Sapphire crystal, kind of a box style sapphire crystal with a bit of a dome to it. 120 click bezel. Inside the watch, underneath that screw down case back, is a Sellita SW200-1 Swiss movement. These movements are pretty solid. They are an ETA knockoff, or clone, if you will. They are solid movement. The only problem I've ever had with a watch with a Sellita movement, I had one problem from a Zelos, one problem from another manufacturer's name escapes me at the moment. The winding mechanisms lock up for some reason, or they become crunchy. It's a simple fix. When I sent the one watch back to Zelos, I had it fixed within 2 weeks. It is a 41 millimeter case. It's 50 millimeter on the tip to tip, 13.6 millimeter thick, 22 millimeter lug, 500 meter water resistance, helium escape valve at the 9 o'clock. Fits beautifully on my 7¼ inch wrist. The mesh bracelet makes it very comfortable. It's easy to adjust with the slide mechanism. Just pop that up and slide the tail, which tucks under here, in or out depending on your needs. One of the features I like about the mesh strap. And hey, $18 a piece. They're cheap and they work well. And if they break, throw it out, buy another one. 7¼ inch wrist, the lug to lug is fine for me. With a 50 millimeter lug to lug, it is a bit big. Maybe 6.5 inch wrist could accommodate it. It is a thick watch though, so and it obviously a long since sold out watch. So they're only available on the secondary market. Now I brought out for you the date version of the DMT. You can see there's almost no difference to the watch. The case is the same, the bezel is the same, the layout's the same, the indices are the same except for the 3 o'clock on this one with the date. It's a color match date wheel at the 3 o'clock. Obviously the indice is about half the size of the one with the no date. And I paired it with the black Ichi mesh bracelet. The black picks up the black of the bezel. So, and it's, pretty quick for me to know which one I'm grabbing depending on obviously different colored bracelets. So helps me a little bit. But both have the helium escape valve. They're both the same case back. Everything is pretty much the same. The only difference being the date wheel on this one, no date on this one. So now I have both. And I guess you can say I've essentially completed my DMT collection. I am crazy, aren't I? I am nuts. What can I say? I love these watches. I love these Zelos watches. And there's just so many of them that are worth owning, in my humble opinion, that I don't mind gathering them up. So, having satisfied my need to complete the quote-unquote DMT collection, all two of them, I call myself very happy. I think it was a great story to get this one again. And I've said it multiple times in this video. Again, a big shout out to Joshua from Horology Insanity. That's 3 words, Horology Insanity. YouTube channel. And Will Duncan of the Zaltec Reviews channel. Big shout out to both of them, especially Will. He doesn't know me from nothing, and he spent his own money to buy a watch that he didn't need. He knew I wanted the watch, so I don't think it was a huge risk on his part. But hey, he spent his own money and helped a guy out that he didn't know from nobody. And big shout out to both those guys for making this happen. And big shout out to the seller in the UK. I promise you, your watch is in excellent hands and will be loved and well taken care of, despite the fact you didn't want to sell to me because I was in the United States, which maybe someday you'll explain to me. But, we all have our reasons for doing things, and I don't hate them for it. With that, I'm going to wrap the video. My usual spiel. If you like this video, you found it to be entertaining, informative, and useful, please click that thumbs up button for me. It does help with the YouTube search algorithms and brings users to the channel. Always a good thing. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you're going to troll me, or you're going to leave links in my comment section that take people to bad places on the internet, I'm simply going to delete the comment and I'm going to block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you found the channel. I'm glad you're here. Please feel free to look around, watch as many videos as you like. All I ask in return is that before you leave, please click that subscribe button for me. And when you do, click that bell icon too, so that when I upload new content to the channel, you'll be alerted. And when I do live streams, which I do every Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, at other times during the week as well when I can find the time, you'll be alerted when those live streams begin, and you can come over and join the fun. As I always say at the end of my videos, it is a crazy old world out there, and trust me, it ain't getting any better, folks. So I ask all my viewers, please stay safe, stay well, be careful. See you soon.